What if the world's greatest threat wasn't a nation or an army, but two boys with a grudge, a secret, and a bomb? That's the chilling heartbeat of terror in resonance. An anime where every explosion is more than just destruction, it's a message at its core. Terror in Resonance is about three broken souls trying to navigate a world that has already failed them. 9. Arata Kokonoe. Calm, calculating, brilliant. He's the strategist, the brain behind the plan, a boy haunted by a past he never chose, carrying himself like a ghost moving through the city. 12. Toji Hisami, the opposite. He's impulsive, playful, and vibrant, masking his trauma behind a smile. But don't mistake his charm. When it comes to their mission, he's just as dangerous. Together they form Sphinx, a duo of teenage terrorists who launch a string of bombings across Tokyo. Not for chaos, but for revenge and revelation. And then there's Lisa Mishima, a high school girl swept into their orbit. She's clumsy, insecure, and desperate to escape her suffocating life. With 9 and 12, she finds freedom, but also danger. Her presence adds fragility and humanity to the chaos. On the other side of the game is Shibazaki, a seasoned detective who refuses to let bureaucracy and fear silence the truth. His pursuit of Sphinx becomes less about catching criminals and more about uncovering what Japan once buried. This isn't your typical action anime. Terror in Resonance is a slow-burn thriller, steeped in mood and atmosphere. Tokyo itself feels like a character. Quiet streets, looming skyscrapers, ticking clocks. Every frame drips tension. It's a story that questions power, morality, and how governments weaponize children. The boys aren't villains in the traditional sense. They're victims lashing out, trying to be heard in a world that erased them. The anime's pacing and tone are deliberate. Sometimes quiet, sometimes explosive. Always unsettling. And then there's the music. The score is composed by Yoko Kanno, one of anime's greatest composers, known for Cowboy Bebop and Wolf's Rain. But here, she does something different, drawing heavy influence from Icelandic post-rock bands like Sigur Rós. The result is eerie, melancholic, and otherworldly, making Tokyo feel both beautiful and suffocating. The opening track, Trigger, and the haunting insert song, Vaughn, capture the loneliness and urgency that defines the series. The anime aired in 2014 and is an original series, not based on a manga. That makes its story tighter and more controlled. Watanabe described the series as his attempt to explore youth alienation and terrorism in the modern age. 9 and 12's backstory ties to a government experiment, echoing real-world fears of unethical human testing. Despite being only 11 episodes, it leaves a heavier impact than many longer series. The series stirred controversy in Japan because of its terrorism themes. It was bold, unflinching, and released at a time when these topics were highly sensitive. Terror in Resonance isn't just anime, it's a statement. It's not about cheering for heroes or villains. It's about sitting in discomfort, questioning authority, and reflecting on the cost of silence. If you're looking for flashy fights, this isn't the one. But if you want a psychological thriller that lingers long after the credits roll, this is essential viewing. It's Death Note meets Erased, but darker, quieter, and far more human. Terror in Resonance doesn't explode for spectacle. It resonates to be remembered. This is Anime Rex. See you next time.